Okay, YouTube, Lofty's here. What do you reckon? Don't bring it out very often. I've had it probably 5 or 6 months. The weather's been that crap, I haven't been riding it, but I thought I'd better come out and make a video and tell you all about my R9T. Here we go. Okay, so YouTube, as you know, I ride a Honda NT 1100. I've done 13,000 miles in 11 months on it. I've rode plenty of other bikes, and I've been waiting patiently for the weather to change so that I can actually get my R9T out and give it a bit of a razz. It's not brand new, it's a new to me bike. It's my second bike. It's my fun bike. I sold my 1200 RS, well, I actually traded it in, did a deal over this R9T. But as you know, most of the R series of bikes, apart from the GS, they're quite low. And I knew that the Scrambler was probably the biggest in the R9T range, although the Classic does look nice with its upside down forks and all the bits of bling. I do like the idea of the R9T, so I bought an R9T. So what did I do? I joined the forums, like we all do. We all join the forums, don't we? I didn't want to know nothing about speed and power and all that nonsense. It was more about ergonomics for me. So I've got the little Puge fly screen. It's okay, I don't know what that does a lot, but it looks nice. I fitted my Givy tank ring on it. I'll show you all this on the walk round. I ordered the high seat. I've kept the same colour, brown. I think it looks lovely in brown. I ordered the high seat. I ordered some Motec lower foot pegs, same as the ones I used to have on my Explorer. They lowered it by about ½ inch. And I ordered some foot peg lowers, a lowering kit. Can't quite remember who I had that off. I think it was Wunderlich. In fact, thinking about it, I'm pretty certain it was a Wunderlich kit. Have a look at the seaside. Doesn't it look beautiful? There's Godrevy Lighthouse in the distance. Hale Towens. This is Gwythian. Beautiful. So yeah, I put some lowers on it. I got a mud sling. I stuck the mud sling on it. The one thing I couldn't find out was, when I come to change the seat, how to get it off. But there's like an Allen key, a funny little key affair underneath. There's only a single fixing. And a lot of people fit these quick release bolts on, so I ordered a quick release bolt. So we've got that on it as well. So it's all geared up now. It's ever so comfortable. I'll tell you, well, as you know, I'm 6'5", 17.5 stone. And to be honest with you, I can ride it all day. I've been out on a couple of 3 big rides with the lads, the Cornwall Advanced Boys. We've been on a couple of big rides, 150, 200 milers, and I've had no trouble. It is a bench seat, but I always find it's probably more important that you get your derriere adjusted to the seat rather than keep messing about changing seats. So I've done nothing, I've just ridden it, and to be honest with you, when I get home after 200 miles, I've had enough, but it's alright, it's not too bad. It's a little bit tiring on the, if we have to put a bit of dual carriageway or motorway in, because you do get quite a bit of wind blast on all of your body, because it's proper naked. There's no real escape. So here we go. I'm going to pull over and I'm going to show you around, and then we'll take it for a bit of a ride. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, YouTube, so I finally get to show you my R9T. As I said, my main bike is my NT 1100 DCT, which I love to bits, but I wanted something as a bit of a Sunday bike, something I could really sort of enjoy and get the impression of being a sort of a motorcyclist rather than just riding motorcyclists. I don't know if you know what I mean, but let me just show you. Here we go, my R9T. As I say, I've raised the seat. There's the pegs, look at that. I'm 6'5", not 17.5 stone. I'm a big lad. This is so comfortable now, it's unbelievable. Let me show you around and I'll show you all the bits and pieces I've done and tell you a little bit about the bike. There it is. What do you think? Just show you the panoramic first, where we are. Don't get much better than Porthtowan, does it? Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. So here's my R9T. Let's have a walk round. See what you can spot as R9T owners. It's a scrambler. I'm going to give you a few stats. This is a 2016, a 66 plate. It's got a private plate on now because it's mine. It's the R9T from BMW, and it's the scrambler variant. It's got the 19-inch front hoop, and it's got gaiters. Slightly higher at the back, slightly higher at the front. So what exactly have I done? I have put a Chirby's handguards on with grip puppies. What I had to do was, because of the bolt size, I had to take the old one out and I had to put a collar grub screw sort of thing in to reduce the size from 10, I think it was 10 mil down to 7 mil, and I put the screw in and it's solid. I've put a couple of washers in there just to clear the throttle slide. So these are me and Chirby's. They've been on 3 or 4 bikes. They're ever so good. I think they look good as well, don't you? So I've got the little, oh, I tell a lie, it's not a Puge, it's a Dart fly screen. It's the Dart one. It's not bad at all, does the trick. So just come, there's me Givey tank lock. I put the ring on, absolute doddle to fit, get the right adapter plate, dead simple. So coming round, here's my seat. As you can see, I've got the brown seat. I've also put the carrier on. Do you like the carrier? It's handy, you can strap things to the back, or you could put a roll bag on in the same direction as the seat, and you could put quite a big one on, not any problem at all. I've also stuck on the old mud sling to cover up the rear shock, because it was looking like it was getting a bit of stick. So coming down, here's the pegs. These are the Moteg pegs. You can raise them up or down 1/2 inch, and here's the plate at the back. I'm pretty sure it's a Wunderlich one. That lowers it about 1 inch. Those are about 1/2 inch, so that's 1.5 inches, and the seat is a good inch. So it's up to 3 inches really in extra leg room, which is pretty good, isn't it? As you can see, we're running the spoked tubeless on the back. I've got Metzeler Tourance Next 2s on. They seem okay. I ain't got no problem, no beef with them. They're all right. And I'll bring you around and show you the pipe. It's got the standard pipe on, the Acro pipe. It's good, isn't it? So what exactly is it? It is the 1170 air oil head. That means it's basically air cooled with the addition of oil cooling. So keeping your eye on the oil levels critical. Is the radiator for the oil. The actual new model they're bringing out imminently, the R1290, same engine. They've altered it a bit, but they ain't really changed it much. It's got ABS, it's decent kitted out. The one thing about these R90s, everything's simple. Like this one, it's got the single clock. Single clock, no nonsense. It's got very little information. It works, it does the trick. But you can put the twin clocks on if you want. If you want the gear indicator and a tacho, you put the twin clocks on. It's not a problem at all. You can customise them, you can swap the tanks, swap the seats. You can even remove this rear subframe, that with the exhaust hangers on and the footrest. You can remove that completely and it will still be able to use it. You don't take a pillion, of course. So it's 109 brake horsepower at 7,250 revs, and it's got 85 foot-pound of torque at 6,000 revs. It's a nice bike. I love it to bits. It's very characterful. It's still got that typical rock, that boxer rock when you give it a bit of a throttle bip. I'll show you in a minute. They're coming about 220 kilos. They're quite a lightweight bike. They're not bad at all. There's a few variants, but as I said, I wanted this one. I'll start it up and show you. So the ignition key, it's hidden away here. It's a bit tricky. It's easy from the side like this. So can you see the clock? You just put it in. The clock sweeps round. Pull it back. There we go. As I say, we're running acros. Have a listen. Not bad, is it really? You know, a lot of people... Yeah, I'll show you. A lot of people remove this little flappy valve and you put a little delete in there. On the early models, it's an easy one because there's no electrics to worry about. On the later ones, you have to fill the ECU. But that makes it even louder. And then take the baffles and all. I don't think it's needed. So up the top here, where are we? Dead simple, look at that. Don't get much more simple, does it? 139 mile on the one trip, 164 on the other trip. Trip A, that's since I've started. I've done 18.8 mile, 68 temperature engine, 246. That's your lot. That's your lot. It has got heated grips, this one has. Heated grips, adjustable levers. That's pretty much it. Anyway, I'm going to get my helmet on, give it a bit of a thrash. Oh, I'll tell you the horn. Here's the horn. It's not too bad. It's better than Dickie horn. It's not too bad. How about the Mickey Mouse ears? I love them. See you in a minute. Okay, YouTube. Let's give it a bit of a ride. All clear. Here we go. Clutch changes are a doddle. I like the gearbox. Back in the day, I used to slate these gearboxes. I just started at a 40, but I've grown to like boxers. I was never much of a boxer fan, but I owned one, and when it went, I just missed something about it. And I didn't want a GS or another RS, and I thought the R was a cracking bike, but to be fair, it weren't no better than the NT. So that's why I thought, what can I have that's got a boxer in? It's got a bit of something about it. And I thought, oh, I've got it. R90. Cracking looking machine. So when I did a bit of old work, I thought the Scrambler's the way to go for a big lad. Scrambler all the way every way. The only real bugbear I've got, I ain't bothered about tacos and gear levers and all that nonsense. That don't bother me. I never even had a bloody, well, back in the day, a fuel tap was a luxury, let alone a fuel gauge. I don't know. I'm not bothered about none of that, so it don't bother me. It's the suspension. The front ain't too bad. The rear's a little bit like a pogo stick, but what I've read on the forums, it's all in kilos, of course. Anything over about 80 kilos and the suspension's not very good at all. Well, of course, I'm probably about 110, 115. So I do find it don't matter what I do to it, it's not really, I'll overtake him. The suspension's not really up to the task. I've been having a look round. Haguns, Nitros, you name it, Maxtons, Hyper Pro. They all do one. And with the VAT, it's about 500 quid-ish to have one set up for your weight. So I think my next thing I shall do, I was thinking of having the twin clocks, but I ain't bothered. I think my next thing I'll do is I shall have a shock. I'll put a rear shock on, something with a bit more dampening. To be fair, when you're pressing on, it's not quite as bad, but it's when you're slow and you can just feel the bumps. It just bounces you up and down, pogos. But that's one thing. So let's hope another aspect of the day out is I hope you get a good picture. I'm using my DJI Osmo Action 3. I'm hoping I've got the sound sorted out with my lavalier mic and a Rode AI micro adapter to reduce the input, and it seems to be working. I'm very pleased, and I've got it attached to my X-Lite. Thank you, X-Lite, for helping me with one of your helmets. This is the X-Lite X903. Very comfortable, cracking field of view, and pretty good for vlogging in, to be fair. Because as you know, I don't do a lot of vlogging, it's mainly reviews I do. And this is a review, isn't it? I'm just reviewing my own bike for a change. But in general, I've got to say, the R9T is one of those bikes you can make it fit anybody. You can lower it, raise it, you name it. Here we go. Raise it, lower it, you name it. You can do anything you want, and you can customise it. Some of the jobs on the forums are absolutely fantastic. I personally like the alley frame look, the one I've got, with a brown seat and a bit of a rack on the back. The idea of it being a scrambler, that's what suits me. I think it's great. I'm over the moon with it. But it's been such a long time. I bought it. I rode it home on a day like this, back in November I think it was. And I ain't joking, from November till now, it has not stopped raining. It's rained every day. It's been unbelievable. So I've been out, I've put loads of miles on my NT, loads more miles than I should have done or wanted to do, because I wanted somewhere to ride in the winter. And my old R9T sat in the garage saying, take me out, take me out. And I ain't been able to take it out because it's been awful. But the last couple of weeks it's perked up slightly. So I thought I'd take it out, give it a few miles, put a few thousand miles on it, get used to it, and then give you a bit of a talk about it. As you know, I mentioned it in the walk round, this R12 90 is imminent. But I don't know why. I can't understand why. Why do they want to change this R9T? I think it's an absolute stonking bike. I really do. I love it to bits. But I suppose it's manufacturers. They want to add tech to it. Now I thought the whole charm, the whole charm about this original model, if you like, 2014 was the base model, the original model, was because it was basic. No nonsense, no added on, customisable. But all of a sudden they've decided they want to add a load of tech. They're not changing the engine, it's just tech. So I suppose it's going to have fuel gauges and digi-clocks and all this nonsense, and probably connectivity and everything. But that ain't for me what the R9T is all about. This is bare bones riding. At least I've got tubeless rims on this model, which I'm over the moon about, because I don't like using tubes, and I don't go off-road. As I said, this suspension wouldn't cope off-road. People have made these into proper off-roaders and done some good work, some good jobs. But I'll get round there easy. But that's not for me. Anyway, we're coming into Portruth. It's only a little video, just to tell you a bit about it. Anyway, if you've enjoyed what you've seen, click on the like, subscribe, ask me a question. It could be anything about the R9T. What about my NT, my NT 1100, my DCT, anything you like. Anyway, it's time to sit in the sun and have 10 minutes talking nonsense with the locals down at Portruth. So this is the Loftybiker saying ta-ra for now. Ta-ra.